What's going on, guys? Mike from UTV-A and Chad hooked me up with this awesome 19-gallon gas tank from RPM, and he suggested that this is one of the very first mods that should ever go inside a stock Maverick R. Reason being, number one, the Maverick R is a gas hog, even in the normal mode, and then we don't even want to talk about the sport, especially the Sport Plus mode, where a second set of injectors kicks in and the car starts growling, and then your gas tank just goes. Plus, every other external mod like comms and extra lights and a bunch of extra wiring, once it starts running through in there, it actually makes it a lot harder to install this gas tank if you're going to get it. So here I am with a stock Maverick R XRC, new for 2026. We're bringing it into Can-Am Motorsports. The stuff they do there is just insane. So helping me install this gas tank will just be tiddlywinks to them, and they're just gonna thankfully help me get me going so I can get on some of these rides before it gets too hot. Can-Am Motorsports is a content factory. I wish I could just sit here and record all the things they're doing. Right now, we're just focused on my car. Turns out there's a few things different with the all-new 2026 XRC that are not in any of the Mav R models, and these guys know what they are. The new gas tank will more or less fit where the old gas tank went, with the exception of the expansion part that fits right in that cubby hole, which is part of adding the extra 5 gallons. To begin removing the stock tank, you must first take off all the panels surrounding the top. That way you have a clean access and entry point to disconnect the tank and pull it out entirely. For the Mav R XRC, it's a little bit different because you have the edit steps of the speakers.
I think that's what I'm fighting over there. I gotta lift it.
Oh, this little grommet.
Yeah, it sticks in the grommet.
It's giving you a false illusion that it's stuck. There are a lot of different panels and hardware and other pieces you need to keep track of, so make sure you have a clear place to put them. Also, installing this gas tank is dramatically easier when you take the seats out. It's 4 bolts each side. Oh, there's the gas tank. You can see the whole thing.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, so that your fuel tank goes down the side. So this is the stock one over here.
Yeah. After watching these two gentlemen take this car apart just to put in the gas tank, I realized very quickly I don't really want to do this again. So I'm going to go ahead and change the plan to add extra mods and accessories that I've been wanting for a while, that I just want to do all together right now while the car's torn apart. That's like pretty much all of it. It's like the giant void under there without the gas tank. When you look at this tank, it's not much bigger than the stock tank. It's surprising that the 13.2 gallon stock tank isn't much smaller than this 19-gallon tank. So where did the extra 5 gallons of fuel go? I mean, that's a lot of extra fuel. A 5-gallon jug is not small. So when you try to install that thing, you notice that it fits extremely snug in there. Like every crevice and every extra void that was left there with the stock gas tank has now been efficiently filled with the new RPM tank. The only extra add-on for the tank that makes you lose any real space is that cubbyhole in the very back, which is a necessary sacrifice to make considering your other alternative is to carry a 5-gallon fuel bag or a 5-gallon tank or external tanks on the side of your car, which are extremely dangerous and they explode and light your car on fire when you roll it. So this one is an easy win. And you can also pair it with under the seat gas tanks for an even bigger fill of fuel, and you can just make extremely long runs, 120, 150 mile legs before you ever have to touch a gas station, maybe even closer to 200 miles if you're like, calm on the gas. So pretty good stuff here. But we've run into a little snag. Now, Can-Am Motorsports has installed countless RPM gas tanks and Mav Rs, but for some odd reason, mine is giving them problems, and it's the first XRC 4-seater they've dealt with.
This knuckle right here is keeping us from actually moving it. We might gonna have to modify that knuckle. Or just plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Let's try. Let's hand it in here. Let's try it again.
That knuckle was part of a molded assembly that connects the entire inner core all the way up to the dash, and that was just a free spot that we thought we could cut away to get the gas tank to fit correctly. And it turned out that it mostly did, but not quite. So we felt it binding in places that none of the other Mav R models had problems with, and so we had to take off a few panels. And we found that, well, there are extra plates for reinforcement right there in the fender wells, and that's only specific to the XRC model. Probably to reinforce it, you know, for rock crawling. Anyways, this panel, it's gotta go. Because when I tell you that RPM mapped out that entire section extremely efficiently, I mean to the inside of those bars against the plastic panel, that efficient. Now we really begin to see just how RPM was able to pull 5 gallons out of nowhere and fill it in a space where, you know, you really couldn't tell that's what's happening. And finally, we got it to fit. I would definitely try removing that panel first before trimming that knuckle. We're not exactly sure if you have to do both, but I would start with the panel first. I'm pretty mechanically inclined and skilled in trade-like stuff, and so I was almost just going to take a shot at this myself, but after watching them take apart all this, especially that last gas assembly when they took that out and installed it back in, that was when I really knew I had no business touching this car. And I'm just super happy Morgan Motorsports took the car in so I could get this done before ride day. I should have got a new set of springs before I left, but pretty much all the accessories I ever wanted in this car to make it complete for long rides is in there. And now the only thing we have left is to test how well that extra 5 gallons kicks in. I haven't had to go on an extremely long ride yet, but I have had a lot of time on the local trails out here in Havasu, and normally I would carry a 5-gallon gas jug in the back of my 4-seater. But I have since stopped carrying that gas tank in the back seat because, well, there's just no point. The gas gauge almost never drops below one of those little bars. Now, with that being said, the gas tank meter in the Mav R is horrendously bad, meaning when it tells you it's starting to drop from a full tank, it's actually about a half a tank. So in the stock tank, once you start seeing the little bars go down, that meant you had about 7 gallons left in the tank, roughly about half the tank. I can't imagine that that's changed much in this tank, but what I will say is by the time those bars start bouncing down, you still have more gas in the tank than you would have in the stock tank. Either way, I never really seem to run out of gas. I never really seem to burn through half a tank. I've seen the chiclets drop once, and that was on, I guess, maybe a longer run when I was in Sport Plus mode with the dual injectors, running it pretty hard. And other than that, you know, I just don't even worry about gas. I have to worry about other things like this. So of all the problems I may encounter out here on the trail, at least I don't have to worry about my fuel. I plan on adding onto this and getting the RPM under the seat gas tanks to get a truly complete, where I may potentially have close to 30 gallons of actual fuel storage in the car without anybody ever seeing it. That is the major goal. And on top of that, RPM has a ton of other mods for the Mav R, and so we plan on getting every modification we possibly can for the Maverick R from RPM and installing it in this thing, and giving you a heads up on how it does. And also, Chad did make it to King of the Hammers this year. We just haven't put the video out, but that video is coming soon. It's pretty good. And we also have a beginner's guide to Glamis. What you should know if you're going to be a first timer there, what to expect, and what Chad showed me on my first time there with our cars. And we're also going to have a speed versus Can-Am thing. That should be pretty good. Stay tuned for all that, guys. Thank you.